what I figured out is that if I just use servo tape here, it pretty much lines up exactly where I need it to without any sort of mounting at all. And we've got holes in the frame here for some zip ties to kind of hold it in place, so that should be more than enough, let's hope, anyway. If not, I can build some other sort of mount or gimbal for this thing. And in terms of how this guy mounts up, we've got a top hole and a bottom hole, and I've already kind of, pre-screwed this in to kind of, wallow at those holes a little bit in that plastic. So we should be good to go. All I need to do is tighten up this nut first, and then there won't be any way to secure these two things together, so we're just going to press fit them together, and luckily they stay nice and tight. We're just going to press fit those together once this is snugged up on here. So that's our next step, is to snug that guy up, and hopefully we'll be on to the next step here. We don't want it too tight, mind. We just want it nice and snug so that we can hold this guy in place, and it should start. Yep. So it's a nylock nut, which basically means there's a little bit of nylock that you cut threads into, and the idea behind it is that it holds your screw in place, keeps it from flopping out, basically backing itself out. Now, it's not perfect, but it does a halfway decent job of it. Now I need to get my this guy mounted up on here, and we're going to need to come up through there with, I'm guessing 10 millimeters isn't going to cut it. I'm going to go with something like a 15 or 16. 14 might do it. So let's see, we've got 3 or 4 there, and then we've got this guy, which is probably another 6 or 7 or more. Oh, come on, quit fighting me. Going up in there. And then, what are we looking at here? Yeah, you know what, that ought to be just enough. I wouldn't say I was happy with that amount, but actually that doesn't look too bad. You know what, why don't I go ahead and put it on there. We're going to run the wire backwards. Don't ask me why. I just, gut instinct says don't run the wire out the front. All right. Of course, I would grab the wrong. I swear these should be color coded. Okay. There's one. And run this guy up through here, up through there, right into there. Yeah. There it is. There's my Tricopter. Yeah, it's a fiddly one, I'm not going to lie. A little bit fiddly, but it does look kind of cool, I gotta say, you know. They definitely a different type of quad that I'm used to building. Alright, is it still turning? No. Bear with me as I explore the strange and magical world of tricopters. Okay. And then let's do our sanity check. This guy is going to sit flush on this plate. Okay. And we're just going to slide it in like that. There it is. That's going to do it. It's going to do it, I reckon. Get some zip ties coming up over this guy to hold it in place. Nice and snug. It doesn't look like the duct is going to interfere in any way, which was the other thing I was concerned about. And we've got just enough room to squeeze a little bit of servo tape under there. You can see it's just about 2 millimeters off the deck is where it's nice and comfortable, and it'll actually spin freely with that guy on there. So we're looking pretty good here, I think. If you try and move it, it doesn't want to go. But in theory, if this guy tries to turn, it should rotate. I mean, shit, I don't know. Worst comes to worst, I can build a little clamp out of this, moving in the right direction. Let's see how much more we can get done before I have to call it. Okay, we're going to work on the ESCs next. These guys I'm going to mount right here next to, right off the flight controller a little bit. So we don't need a whole lot of room, or a whole lot of wire, I should say. I'm going to go with that much wire. And then we'll tin this up. Alright, it wants to fight. There's 2. And finally 3. Okay. Get this guy tinned up. Hopefully not touch our ducts. That's the other thing you got to worry about here. Is these ducts are plastic, and these are TPU or PLA or TPU. They're PLA or PETG. So yes, they will melt very easily. And we need our tweezers, and we'll just take and alright, so this is a good place to remind ourselves that this thing moves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to secure it in place temporarily with a little tiny bit of blue tack. Take a little blue tack. Oh, come on. Get back in there. Alright. And what we'll do is we'll just stick it to the arm temporarily until we're done with this part, right? And the benefit of that is that we have it in about the right place, and we don't need to hold it down with anything yet. Now, I want to avoid grounding it at all with our when the time comes to actually do this for real. And I don't know if I want to put shrink wrap over it or what I want to do yet, but I'm guessing it's just going to be stuck down with some double-sided VHB. Alright, there's one, two, and three. Boom, just like that. Okay, next one on the list, we will try and scoot our blue tack off without, hopefully, let's see here. Can I get this up? Yeah. That should have our 2 ESCs done. Come on. Let's see if I can pull them up. Yeah, see what happens? You get a little blue tack. That's just one of the stringy things about blue tack, is that, you know, when it gets a little warm, it gets a little stringy. But if you come back with it and you just dab a little here and there, it comes right up off of there. There we go. That's a good joint. Good Lord. Fighting with this thing for days. Alrighty. There's our ESC all said and done. And we'll get this kind of positioned over here like so on some VHB and get it all so that we can get the top plate on and still get to everything. Maybe end shot. Let's see how much my head you can see. Alright, I'm just trying to show it, but not burn the shit out of everything else around it. Okay, I'm going to call that one done. And okay, coming in. Get it down on the pad. There we go. Okay, and these two need to come over here. 2, 3. And we want this side is negative, so we'll do that one first. And we want to kind of come. I'm gonna lay them down close. Come up. You know what? I'm going to do the positive one first, and then we'll. Get just a little bit. Come on. My tweezers. You know, they're right here in front of me. I read this thing on organization. It was whenever don't ever put a tool down. Was the basic gist of it. And the concept was that you should always, always, always return a tool, even if you need to swap it out for something, to where it goes. Okay, I'm alright with that one. And now for the next one, we're going to pull this guy in. Actually, what we'll do run this guy down under, like so. Hopefully this is in shot. I apologize if it's not. There we go. So it's kind of tucked up underneath, and then this one will just kind of go with it. There's that, and we want just to touch off the end, give it a little bit of a 10. Okay. Give our tweezers here. Yeah, I don't know how I'd do that in practice, you know. I'm not sure I could set tools back where they belong every time without losing my mind, you know. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, coming in from this side, we'll just try to be gentle. PWM's done, and telemetry. Telemetry's done. And then we can kind of twist them together and run them however we want now. Go up over the top with them. Underneath, I think up over the top's fine. And clip them like so. 1, 2. Okay. Try and tin these. Okay. Got a bit too much wire exposed. So we're just going to take and nip off all but the last little 2 millimeters or so. Okay. So the yellow goes to S1, telemetry goes to R4. Oh, quit fighting me. There it is. Actually, you know what? I think this is going to be the end of part 2 right here. So what we've got so far is everything except for our control wire here, which I don't know where to connect it yet. I'll figure that out, and then I'll wire up our VTX and our cam. Next time you see this, we'll be doing that. Okay? Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed this.